Happy Miracle Monday. This is Dawn Petalino, your transformational coach. And Miracle Monday is where I remind you of various truths about yourself. You know, the people that are attracted to this channel are people who want to remember the truth. They want to remember they are spiritual beings in a human body, and that by remembering and retaining the truth, we can live a life of miracles. And that's what we talk about on Miracle Monday. So this Miracle Monday is about releasing the future. You know, our answers can never be found in the future. They just won't be. The future is all up here, right? And that doesn't even exist because time doesn't exist. So there is only the present moment. As much as we have our plans, we have our schedules, you know, you and I both know the best of intentions. You could have your plans laid out for the day and many unexpected things come up. So the future is a time we have no control over. So what we need to do in order to get clear, in order to really capture the power of our consciousness, hello Melissa, is that we have to become present enough to connect with the power within us, because that's the only power that exists. And that's where all choices are made. You know, the Course in Miracles talks about that the Holy Spirit knows your past, your present, and your future. Okay? So we're going with the all mind, the Christ conscious mind, the universal mind, the divine mind, the one mind, whatever you want to call it. When we connect to that, that is the only power that exists, and that's where our power lies. So when we wish to make a choice, we want to get out of the future thinking, and we have to stay present where we are. And this is what I mean when I say there are no decisions made in the future, they're made here. That is because until it is time to make the decision, you can't make the decision. You know, I have a friend who is talking about a job, and she was saying, well, I don't know if I should apply for it because I don't know, you know, she had a lot of different reasons why she wasn't sure if this was something she wanted to do. And I just always remember my father saying, well, you can't say yes until they offer you the job. And that's pretty much the sum of it, is there wasn't a decision to make. She could apply for it, and when the decision comes, she could decide then. Or she might, and this is what she ended up doing, was getting still enough and quiet enough and not pressuring yourself, because the pressure comes from our thinking, not pressuring herself enough to sit and really hear what was right for her. And as it was, she decided not to apply for the job because given her disposition and where she was at in life, she realized it would just be a lot more stressful. Even though it, you know, had some benefits, it wasn't beneficial to her. And so when we trust in our hearts, we have to get still. And we make the decision in the moment. And if we're not sure of the decision, then the moment might not be here yet. That's when I always gather information, right? Or if you're coming home and you're not sure what this person's going to do or what that person's going to say, or maybe you have a phone call to make and you're not sure what you want to, what if they say this and what if we can go into what if scenarios forever. But that's not where the power lies. The power lies in a couple of things. First of all, we have to stay present. You know, the Course in Miracles says, I have no cause for anger or fear. And every need that I perceive, your grace suffices. So the anger and fear comes from the idea that we need to control. And the Course of Love tells us that we are going to be learning to be at rest as a state of being. Not rest and then struggle, but rest as a state of being. And resting as a state of being comes from a rested mind. A rested mind is one that is not worrying about the past or the future, but is staying present in acceptance of what is. And that is acceptance even of ourselves and of our emotions in that moment. So first of all, we have to be present with what is. And the Course of Love says this is the first thing you have to do, is you just have to accept it and know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Accept this moment. And it continues to say, you know, that as you accept this moment, knowing that you're exactly where you are supposed to be, all changes will be shown to you if you are but attentive. And that means we discipline ourselves to pull ourselves out of the fearful thinking as best we can, however we can, and get back into our heart space and remember the one power. And then we suspend judgment. We walk into a situation, I don't know what I'm going to say, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to suspend judgment. I don't know how that person's going to react, but I have to, A, trust your grace suffices. So I have to let go of anger and fear enough, just a willingness. You don't have to do it perfectly. Enough to remember your grace suffices every need that I perceive. And then I have to just take inventory of what I'm seeing. Be present with it. As if you're watching a movie. This is what I'm seeing. And I suspend my judgment of it. Now that's the tricky part. We have to suspend the idea of how we are perceiving it. Like, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do this. You really got to watch it like you're just watching a movie unfold. And you're listening to your heart. This is where you begin to be attentive. Attentive. And if you're not sure, you ask in that moment, show me what I should say here. And the thing is, our best thought in that moment, as long as it's coming from love, it's enough. It really is enough. But what we're doing is we're not making decisions early. We're not throwing ourselves into a future what-if scenario where we keep ourselves caught up in worry and concern. Instead, we're remembering that there's just this moment. I am going to, for this moment, accept I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, accept this moment as it is. And that I am surrounded by this divine presence. Your grace suffices. And then I will, trusting that, I can suspend my judgment of it and watch and be attentive and noticing how I feel and noticing just what's going on and listening for the loving response. And when you have to make a decision, if you're not sure, the decision might not be there to make yet. And so in that case, we might need to gather information until we're a little clearer. But remember, it's all about catching yourself going into the future, bringing yourself back to the present, and I remind myself, just this, just this, just this. And it does help to kind of picture yourself like you're watching a movie, because then we begin observing ourselves as well, but in a way that detaches us from the drama of things, and so we can hear clearly because we're detaching more from our thinking mind in that capacity. So today, when you find yourself getting in the whirlwind, you feel your thoughts are going to the future, remember your job is to release the future. I have no cause for fear or anger. Every need that I perceive, your grace suffices. And in this moment, I will accept where I am, knowing that it is unfolding, and I will be present and attentive. And so we try to suspend our judgment as best we can, and we try to make the best decision. When the decision presents itself, what's the loving choice? What's the loving choice? And remember, it might not be time to make the decision if you're still in a flux. In that case, just for today, just for today, just this. Happy Miracle Monday. I hope you take this into your day, and I hope you begin to learn to rest as a state of being, trusting in the one power and the one source within you who is there to guide you always. Happy Miracle Monday. If you'd like to learn more, you can check out my website at www.dawnpetalino.com. You can check out meditations, blogs, books, resources there. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. That's right, because we're doing this live. All right, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.